I pray for people. I take them to the water, to the ocean, to pray for them. Zulu people, a lot of Zulu people came from Nigeria. Yeah, you can connect to the mountain. It's something about being closer to the universe, to God, to the Creator. The ocean, the river, the waterfall, the lake, those are all the places that ancestors used to connect.
So far, the year of this now,
Artists here in Rwanda, my first ever interview.
This is Nyansa TV. We are going deep into African spirituality. We were told our beliefs were strange beliefs by the white man. He introduced Christianity, he introduced Islamic religion, and painted our own black. But I want to find out how black is our African indigenous religion and spirituality. I'm here in Cape Town, South Africa. I came to After Conference, but then I've met a very powerful woman who is also deep into African spirituality. I'm going to spend some time with her as she shares with us how black, how evil, how our ancestral worship has been painted black. To her perspective, is African spirituality black? And if you mention African spirituality, what comes to mind? How do we unearth the good part of it? You'll recall that years back, if you are in any African setting, our norms were so powerful that social biases, stuff around our morality was super. But now, it is missing in our society. Christianity has taken over, Islamic has taken over, but the vices are becoming too much. How do we connect the past to the present for such a beautiful society we want to see? Welcome to Nyansa TV.
Thank you.
I'm super happy to have you. Can you introduce yourself to us?
I can, but before I do you mind if I ask you to pass me that bag? There's something that I need to take from my ancestors.
Great.
Sorry about that, guys.
It's all part of it.
Yeah, hey? It's all part of it. It's fun, yeah?
Yes.
My name is Andile Mkwebu. I'm a Zulu girl from Durban, but I'm a Pan-African child. And I am finally heeding the call from my ancestors to follow their path into the continent of Africa. Hence, I say I'm a Pan-African child because they are in all parts of this continent.
Okay.
So I recently, for example, discovered that why I love Nigeria so much is because I have a connection to Nigeria.
Wow.
Interesting story is that Thursday before Good Friday, the recent Easter weekend, I was planning to go to church, and my ancestors were just like, no, you're staying at home, you're going to light your candles. It's something we need to engage on.
The Easter day?
Yeah, so basically, I was planning to go to church, and then they said no.
So you go to church?
I do.
Which church?
I'm Catholic. Actually, I was born in the Catholic church. I go with my cloths to church now. They told me to go. So my church phoned me and asked me to come and read on for the night vigil as a minister.
In your African tradition stuff?
Yeah, I go. Well, now I go because before I would always be embarrassed, because it was like they give you this look of. But I recently discovered that I'm a woman king, and the ancestors that I walk with are of royalty from Benin states and Nigeria, Swaziland, South Africa. So hence I have to go to touch the soil of different parts of where they come from so that I can connect. So what was I saying now? Oh, so somebody was telling me about the queens that lived before in Africa. And it was another healer who was telling me that as a woman king, I need to know what my power is. So in my discovery, I came to a documentary on Netflix called Queen Zinga. And when I watched it, I was like, okay, now I understand. And it showed it actually showed how the Catholic Church was behind slave trade in Angola.
Okay.
So I've kind of had my reservations about that, because growing up, can you imagine just growing up in a Catholic community all your life is all you've ever known? And you don't know that you've got this side of you. And you don't know that there's this history that shows you that slave trade is what actually helped build the Catholic Church. So in a way, it was like my ancestors wanted me to also understand that their power doesn't lie on an image, where I look at an image, you know, and I say, this is where I'm going to get my strength. So so back to the Thursday story. I was, I could feel it was a full moon, and I wanted to make sure that for the full moon, I do like, So while I'm doing my spiritual stuff, next thing, the Nigerian ancestors show up and they introduce themselves to me.
How did they show up?
So I was in my room setting up my shrine, putting my candles, and then the next thing I was like, yeah, I don't feel like playing gospel today. I feel like hearing Nigerian music.
Yourself?
And then I started playing this new song by Flavor, The Game Changer or something.
Okay.
And it says the Emperor, the Conqueror, the Champion, the Lion is here. Mm-hmm. That is the start of the song. And as I played the song, they were like, that's you. Mm. And I'm like, so it's here. Everything is here. Your core.
You feel it inside.
You feel it inside. That voice, when you say you have an inner voice, your gut, that is pretty much them. So I'm like, okay. Then suddenly, I started like just talking like a Nigerian person.
Okay.
And I was just like, just telling myself who I am, affirming that number one, I'm on my birthday, which was on Sunday. I cannot be in Durban because I need to touch Africa. If possible, I must go into an African country or be a part of something, you know, that has to do with Africa. Not knowing this conference is going to be happening. They do that. They will guide you in everything. Yeah, they'll show you the way. You'll just see yourself going to places and you're like, where am I going to? Why am I doing this? So they started telling me that, okay, the reason why I was so taken by Nigeria and why the first country I started to do my business, my company was launched in Nigeria. I was on holiday and they were telling me there was them. They were the ones who were the traders. They're from Benin. They were wealthy. So they want to bring back everything that is theirs. What was taken from them, it must be brought back. So my calling is huge because I always say I have a big job, and it's it's one that I don't think I'll even complete in this lifetime. And interestingly, the gentleman that I was engaging with last night from the US, he has a Liberian history, like a background in his family from Liberia. We didn't know, both of us, that the reason for coming here to this conference was because of both our paths and our spirituality. And I needed to help him see that he's on the right track. What he feels inside of him that he needs to do, it's exactly that. He must continue. So, yeah, and then after that... When
did you discover yourself? At what stage? And how did it happen?
I would have dreams as a child. Like, I would always have dreams where something would happen. I would dream of something before it happens.
Okay.
And it's like, I'd be like deja vu. So when it happened, I'd be like, I've seen this before. I would see people's funerals in my family before they pass away. And their burials would happen exactly the way I dreamt it. Okay. Then my sister, for example, if she got sick, I would feel sick. I'd be like, yo, I've got this headache. If just different things would happen, you know. And then I never knew what was happening. One day my mother went to someone who was a healer. And that person, when she went to this person was asked her, where's your child? And she said, she was with my sister. And she said, which one? Because there's 5 of us at home. And the lady said, "You're the small one." They're saying there's a small one that you have because I'm the last born. And they were saying that I'm being misled in my life. They need to, my mom needs to bring me to her. So I was living in Johannesburg at that time. So I went to I went to Durban to meet this lady, and she told me, she spoke to me, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. But my heart wasn't there.
No, at what stage?
I was like 20, 21.
University?
No, I was like older.
Okay.
20, 21,
okay.
Around there. Yeah, so then what happened? So when I went to I didn't go with my mom, my sister took me to this lady, so I went to see her, and for like a long while, I think until I turned 30, I was just doing things for the sake of doing things. I was like, oh, I'm not feeling okay, so let me go see this person, you know. And I would have different healers telling me, you are a big person, you are a powerful person. I'm like, I don't see that. What is all about? Please, you know. I just downplay it. Now I get it. Now I understand. So yeah, and then eventually, when I turned 30, I said, no, I'm gonna do something about this. I have to.
So they keep telling you, but then at what point did you accept that this is a calling? Let me start paying attention to this, because
when I was 13,
where most people don't get. People in Africa are actually hearing these calls.
Yeah.
And they're confused as to what is happening to them.
Yeah.
At what point were you able to connect yourself back to your root?
I'd say like late 20s, like late 20s, because I would just do random things. Like I just found myself going, I need to take sage and burn sage, you know, to speak to them. Or I would, like my dad was sick, and they would tell me, take your dad here, do this for your dad, pray for your dad like this. So I would do that for him, you know. And he would say to me, oh, my child, it's like when you pray, it's like God is listening. Because there was a time he was in a coma in ICU, and after I prayed, the doctors were just, they were like, what did you say? So what I can say is, as a prophetess, I am going to be needed to connect to other like the gentleman from yesterday. That's part of the whole process, but I am expected to be in the continent. And I always say to my family, I don't belong to them, I belong to the continent.
Wow. So what do you do, what work do you do as far as the spirituality? It's been years now, the late 20s to this time, it's been years. What have you been up to?
No, I pray for people. I take them to the water, to the ocean, or to pray for them.
At the water?
Yeah. So the ocean is so our ancestors are in different places. Okay. Our ancestors are in. You can connect to the mountain. You can connect. That's why in the Bible you hear about the mountain. How every time in the mountain, or even with the pyramids, while they were, you know, like high up there, you know. It's something about being closer to the universe, to God, to the Creator there. So the ocean, the river, the waterfall, the lake, those are all the places that ancestors use to connect. I have my own shrine. I'm actually trying to build of course, so it was done. I'm trying to build a consultation room for them, because they wanna work now. They wanna help people. You know, I can't.
You've not actually sat to say, let me have a consultation room that people can come to me and ask about their past, or you've not done that yet?
I haven't. Like, I've been trying to do it from last year. Initially, I was going to build something that was more, more convenient. But I realized the reason why it's delaying is because that's not what they want. They want an actual structure. Okay. So I have to make an actual structure, which then needs money. How
do you connect to your ancestors, you personally? Is there any way? Is it by hearing, by seeing, by feeling?
Hear, just talking. I'm walking, I'm like now saying Togoza. That's me talking to them to say, when I burp, it's them going, we're here.
Okay.
So if there's something that I'm saying, and then I start burping, it's because they are now taking over. And recently they told me that they honestly are tired of doing things in the human way. They want to let their spirits manifest and do their work.
So do they manifest through you and speak through you?
An ancestor is like somebody, is basically someone who once walked this world. So hence, like with me and the Nigerian Swaziland connection, there are people, Zulu people, a lot of Zulu people came from Nigeria. We're more connected than we are divided in this continent.
Wow.
And unfortunately, they don't know that. So I need to find ways and means of connecting Africa. And I never knew, when I started my business in Nigeria, I never knew that I called it. I said,
what business do you run?
Matchmaking in business. Like I'm a consultant who helps connect governments to private sector, enter Africa. And I've been doing it from 2014, and then no one understood this. This was never this.
So let me find out. So you're actually a corporate woman.
Yes.
Not doing normal trade, a corporate woman in a corporate setting.
Yes.
And you switch to this.
I'm balancing. I'm learning to balance. I'm learning to balance the two because they both need each other. Me being here is them. They wanted they needed a platform. So they're like, okay, go to that conference, go meet with people like this SG, because you've always seen intra-Africa trade. You've always understood it, and no one heard you when you spoke. In a way, it's like they feel delayed. They were supposed, that time when they said go to Nigeria was when they were starting to do their thing and to reintroduce the intra-Africa trade.
Do you feel the awakening now in our continent than before? They saw Africa as having bad or evil form of spirituality. Do you share the same sentiment?
Do I feel that it's bad? No.
The way they paint the picture to us.
I can't stand that. I really can't. For me, it's sad because African people are being misled. That's why there's a sudden rise of more spiritual healers, because the ancestors, they want to claim back what's theirs, Even the African Continental Free Trade Area, it's all part of them, the emancipation of Africa and getting back to where we were. The old Africa, they would trade amongst each other. They would trade with gold, and it's not there anymore. So it needs to come back to its rightful power.
Well, touching on that, I want to understand, if anybody goes back to his father's house or back to his roots to pour libation or to do stuff like that, do you see those things as evil?
No.
You don't?
Why?
How do people perceive you?
Sorry?
How do people around you perceive you now?
Well, let's just say I've never been this girl. Now I'm wearing it proudly because this is their cloths. This is how they want people to know that they are present. So, some people will give you this look of like, oh my gosh, this one now, she's going to do what? Tell us her stories, or like the DJ was saying, he was running away from me the whole night because he saw me from the dance floor, and he was like, oh my God, this woman's very strong, her ancestors are so powerful. I hope she does not come up to me. And what happened?
You bounced for him.
At the end of the event, we were the last ones left. It turns out that we are also connected somehow.
Parts of the continent you're talking about Christianity being evil, do you share the same sentiments? The content, the Bible itself, and the messages it gives us.
I like I said, I have my reservations because having been born in the Catholic Church and recently discovering that slavery is what built my religion. So my forefathers were sold. And till today, that's still happening because of a church that I was born into. How is that possible? How are we doing that and at the same time speaking about the love of God? It doesn't make sense. It seems like we're simply being controlled, like everyone has said, that Christianity came to control us because they needed to demonize and make us, so.
Let's talk about the after. I saw a lot of things. I know you enjoyed the conference. You've had a lot you followed for some time. Introduction was beautiful. We had so much about it. Our fathers used to trade among themselves, as you said. What are you saying entirely about the whole conference? You came, there's a business forum. How do you see the whole conference?
It's a good conference, very well attended. Well done to the African Continental Free Trade Area on that, and to the SG of the trade area. Unfortunately, I feel that, again, we're having conversations where there's not much youth. We're talking about the future of our continent.
Old men.
And, sorry?
Old men,
yeah.
Old women.
And young people. We right now are the ones who are going to right the wrong. See, our fathers before us, our parents, they fought for freedom. They fought for against apartheid and all of that. And they succeeded, great. Now it's to go back to that emancipation of Africa.
As Nkrumah said.
Yeah.
Wow. So if I need you, in terms of spirituality, I want you to help me wake up from my sleep. What would be the guidelines? People are watching, young men are watching, young ladies are watching. They are confused. Some of them are not interested in going to church again. Others are there. If that place is not helping, as using Catholic as an example, realizing that something is wrong somewhere, reading the Bible well now, opening their mind to understand that not all the stuff in the Bible are as they perceive them to be. Certain concepts are just to, this is how people are perceiving things now. What will you teach us today on this platform, that if I am waking up, what should I do? Now I don't know where to go. What should I do if I begin to feel the way you used to feel?
Honestly, you need to have the guidance of somebody who's already there.
Okay.
You need to, they need to show you how you can actually, each ancestor wants their own way to connect.
Okay.
For example, like this, I know with this cloth, it's because maybe I'm going to a business engagement, there's different cloths I'll use, but I've been showing, like a person will tell me, you need to go and buy the cloth like this. They are saying that this is their totem.
Okay.
So the first best place to start is at a healer that's been doing it, that's been in
a divine healer. A divine healer.
Yeah, who can guide and show them the way.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Is it difficult?
Is it?
Difficult being in this, using you as an example.
Whew. You know, I always say, I compare my story to, in the Bible, the Apostle Paul, because, you know, a prophet is never really respected or understood in their own country or in their own home. So it's a very tricky, but also what caused my delay and took so long is because there was also conflict where in my family, not everyone was in support of it. And at the time where I decided that I need to rise, and at the time when I decided that I needed to rise to it, the two people who were going to be like very supportive passed away. So then it just caused even more delay for me. And you have to really be strong. You have to really, like, they give you strong shoulders, and they know exactly how to carry the load that they make you carry, you know, the ancestors.
Let's talk about your tribe, Zulu. When it comes to spirituality, I know they are highly spiritual people. It's not easy. I have read a lot about them. Highly spiritual people. Tell me about your culture in terms of spirituality. The Zulus of
very, 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 very cultural. Hence, like, I believe that the Zulus are spread out all over the continent. It's sad that Zulus are seen as the ones who are xenophobic, because they don't understand. You know, our new king is actually, he's a spiritual person, and for him to have been made king or chosen out of all his siblings is because he was the chosen one by the ancestors.
So you don't just choose a king. It's
guided. They will guide. It was a process. We just had a whole process, and mind you, it was after like his father reigning for close to 70 years, I think. So it was the first time in years that we actually had a new king. So we're very, very cultural. we do a lot of Thanksgiving ceremonies where we have to give thanks to our ancestors and connect with them, and acknowledge their existence in our lives. It's all connected. Like
we do a question in Ghana as an ancestral monthly. Every 40 days, everybody goes home to do ancestral sacrifices and all that stuff. I want to understand some of the traditional or the rituals you do during certain days when it comes to the Zulus.
Sure. There's a lot. So we have the thing called Iladi. Iladi is where you will have you do an offering to your ancestors. Maybe you'll need to fast maybe for like 7 days or something, and then put your candles, different color candles, food, chicken. We slaughter chicken.
So you're feeding your ancestors actually? Okay.
Yes. And you also buy like what so if you remember what your great grandmother liked, for example, or they'll say they want tea, or they want beer, or they want white spirit alcohol, or they will guide. Mine love wine.
So more like, let's feed our past. Let's feed them our forefathers to keep them.
Yeah.
Do you trust that they will eat because dead body doesn't eat?
We do. It's all here. Everything is it's literally about trusting your gut.
Okay. Apart from that one, what again do you do? The Zulus, apart from feeding our ancestors, what else do you do? Do you have monthly, yearly celebrations you do in terms of spirituality? Certain festivals that has that spiritual connections.
I mean, there are different movements. There's a movement called Shembe. They go in January to the mountain and they fast for like 40 days. Shembe is like the book of Moses, similar to Moses' journey. There's different movements. It's almost like the churches around the world. You have Islam, you have
the same thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have Zion, you have there's different I won't say religion, but different practices that engage with the ancestors to remember them. Sometimes also during the month of November we remember them as well. We do a Thanksgiving, which is interesting because even I think the Hindus also do it as well. So we do that, where we just give thanks and do an offering.
What about festivals?
That's all mediocre. This thing is not about mediocre. This thing is about it's spiritual. I would love to do. In fact, interestingly, I was planning to do an arts exhibition in Ghana during Afrochella last year, because I wanted to do an exhibition on spirituality, on the calling, to teach and show.
But you did not do it?
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, time
and
fundraising and the funds raising didn't succeed.
You support for people to come. Ghana.
No, to put it together, I need financial support. So I don't think I was ready. So it's okay.
Wow.
When it's time, it'll happen.
Is Africa ready for this period? To ask you. Spiritual, you can see. Are we ready?
I think so, because why else would they make me and the gentleman from Liberia, the DJ who was playing, all of us are here. It's a connection thing where it's like we are guiding you and showing you spiritually that this is where you need to be. Okay. But in order for certain things to happen, you need to show the leaders of each country need to be able to guide. I mean, that's my task. I have to go and find presidents,
When I did not plan to come. It was a Monday that I said, you have to go. I said, how? Tuesday, I sent my book to the embassy. Wednesday, I have the visa. I have to travel Thursday. I said, this is nonsense. It doesn't happen normally when it comes to me. So I am also surprised why I came. It just happened and somebody said, let me pay. You have to go. I said, how? You have to go. And it was like forcing me to be here. And my first question to them was that, are you ready culturally to connect? And the man said, are you interested in culture? I said, that is my area. I would love that we go back to our roots. look for what our fathers did that kept the continent together. We should go back and check it. Let's find out. If they said it was evil, now we've read enough to be able to know the difference between truth and evil. So let's go and research, ask our fathers to give us information to know what is wrong. So the good ones, we can start using them again than just following what somebody has told us. If it was lie and he kept on echoing it, it means that it's going to be like that for us. We have to find out. That is why I also came to the same conference. And I'm not surprised I've met you too. So the connection is very, very great. So Africa is ready to you. You are ready to do trade.
It's time. I'm not getting any younger. So I always felt that I was delayed. So now I need to just... They also came very angrily on Friday on some... Hey, we're taking over now, it's time. So it's time, we need to be ready, we need to accept, we need to understand that, which is why I also wear my cloths very proudly here, because I want them to understand that in business, I do practice my spirituality. I want to be more discerning in how I do business through what they show me, what they tell me. Because before I'd see things from face value and be like, yes, I trust everyone. But now it's a case of, is it the right time? Is it the right person to work with? Another thing, recently I was told to take time away from everyone and just reflect on life, reflect on who I am and where I want to be, and what are the things that I want. I don't need to take to the next level, because I'm a next level now, and I had to make a decision to walk away from what I was trying to forge as a relationship with the company called Culture Management Group in Ghana that does the Afrofuture event. I'd been trying to show them that no, my part in their project is actually to help with this whole African side of things. And my ancestors said no, it's taken too long to secure that deal. They're moving away from it now. So I'm learning to be there, discerning.
My last question to you: what's your message to other people who are seers, who are African awakening people like Shoma Ponga? I've heard quite a number of them. Quite a number in South Africa, quite a number in Ghana. People who are drumming this particular drum of let's go back to our roots, let's find out what is wrong, going back to do this awakening thing. So many of them. I think I shared some videos with you who are also speaking the same thing. What will be your message to all of them? It's not easy, nobody's supporting them, but they're still firing on. What will be your message to them?
Definitely still fire on. We need each other. As a healer, I don't think that I need to work alone. I've always been the kind of person who likes to connect to people. So I think if healers could really come together, we'd really be able to emancipate and to heal our continent. We're not, each person is in their own box, focusing on what they have to do.
Tip of the iceberg.
But we actually need each other. We need to understand each other's culture. We need to learn about each other so we can actually get along and be united. So healers are the ones who can actually help that. They can help from coming together. I'm actually trying to plan a healers retreat.
Where?
That's the thing. I'm waiting for him to guide me. It was between Zimbabwe as a first point. I don't know why, but maybe because it was a monetary thing for me. Because if I look at Egypt, it's so far for me, But I would love to get to Egypt and Ethiopia because of the history that they have for us as healers, as Africans and as healers. So I would love it to do a healers retreat where we come together and we share our stories. Each is different. Each of us have got a story to share, and each of us have got different strengths. What my ancestors are doing will not be the same as your ancestors, but we can come together and be able to assist one another in different scenarios or battles or anything that we are actually dealing with. So I would love to do that.
Wow. Your message to the General Secretary and the Secretariat of AFTA. You have a message for them.
My message to Mr. Wamgele Mene, His Excellency Wamgele Mene, is that he needs to engage the young people. This African Continental Free Trade area, yes, it's going to work with the private sector, and I get that, but the young people are the new entrepreneurs for the future.
You're handing the baton to them.
We need to hand over the baton to them. By saying yes to my calling is because I want to teach the ones who follow me, so I know that I did my part. So when I cross over, then I can be an ancestor to them also, and to guide them. So engage the youth, include the youth and women, and give the youth a voice within the conferences also. I know there's an Inter-Africa Trade Fair where they have a creative nexus, but I feel like there's more that we could do.
There's more. The number is huge.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm happy I have you. Can I have your contact if anybody want to talk to you? You can announce your number.
Wow. Okay. +27 72 567 4556.
Are you ready for consultation?
I have to be. What can I do? I absolutely am.
See you once again here in Cape Town, South Africa. Nyansa TV. Remember to subscribe. Bye for now.
So far, yeah, of this now,
Baptist here in Rwanda. My first ever interview.